What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Cjthecheesedj here, and we are back with another Total War Warhammer video for you guys today. And today we are pitting the Dwarfs against the High Elves. Now, we were currently controlling the Dwarves, and you can see here that we have quite the army. Now, most of our army is pretty much just merely like just solid infantry. We just kind of wanted to go with an infantry build here, not really much ranged or anything like that. We do have a single artillery piece, which is the organ gun. Now, we wanted to try this thing out because we haven't actually used this before in a battle. So we thought, why not give it a go, see what it can do, because we did verse some dwarves and this just absolutely shredded our army. So we're like, let's give it a go. Now, our army mainly consists of our front line. Now, our front line is miners at the front here with blasting charges. So blasting charges, pretty much they throw C4. I'm pretty much, it's what it is. C4 straight ahead at the enemy, and it just blows through them. We've got 3 lines of that. You can see here we are currently moving them into line to fight the High Elves, and that is going to be our front line. So they are going to be first, mainly because of their blasting charges. They throw and they explode, and if you've got friendlies in the way, well, then you could say goodbye to your friendlies. Now, our second front line is pretty much the rest of our infantry. On both sides, we have Slayers. Now, these guys are anti-large for in case the High Elves brought any large targets, which you can sort of see there is a high target over there. They've got some Eagles. We then have pretty much just Dwarf Warriors as well as Iron Breakers across the front. So Dwarf Warriors are axe infantry with shields. They pretty much are just your cheap unit that you want to use for frontline engaging, and then you bring in your Iron Breakers and your Longbeards with the great weapons. Now, Longbeards we got because of their old Grumbler's ability, which pretty much enables them to keep leadership at a high in case you lose your champion. So we've got a couple of them, and you can see we are slowly moving the rest of our Iron Breakers around the front and our Dwarf Warriors with great weapons as well as our Slayers. Now, like I said, we do have the organ gun, which is going to be chilling here for a bit, just firing away at the elves. And then as a leader, we have Thorgrim Grudgebearer on his little dwarven chariot. You can see there. Now, this guy is an absolute beast. He's a melee expert and he is armored, so he does deal quite a bit of damage. And then against us, we have the High Elves. Now, the High Elves currently consist of 2 groups of archers, some Shadow Warriors, and the Grey, which are an elite unit. A regiment of renown, so these guys will do quite a bit of damage. They are good. They do have really good range. They've master ambushes, although it doesn't look like they deployed them properly. So I mean, I'm not going to complain. Then they have another regiment of renown, the Storm Riders. Now these guys are really good. I think they're pretty expensive though, so we'll see how they go. See how they fare up against us. They then also have an Eagle Claw Bolt Thrower, which is really good for single targeting, but you can see there that it is firing away, but it's not doing too much damage, I don't think. So yeah, and then more archers in the second line of attack. And then behind them, they've got the Swordmasters of Hoeth, the Scions of Matlan, which is another regiment of renown. This guy's going all out on regiment of renowns. I don't think he probably needed the Grey, to be honest. So yeah, they've got those, and then behind them some Ilarian Reavers, as well as a Mage of Life and the Princess on a Pigeon, as well as another Great Eagle. So I am glad we brought those Slayers, because they will be dealing with the Eagles as well. You can see here they are trying to target our Slayers, but they kind of missed. So guys, let's get this battle underway, see what they can do. I don't think we lost a unit there. No, we didn't. Didn't lose any models, but we decided to move them up, or at least move our Slayers, because they will continue firing at us. Now, our organ gun, I'm not too sure, is it firing yet? No, we're just moving it up to get a bit closer into range. But this thing absolutely demolishes more than I thought. Now, you can currently see here, we're just chilling. We were like, you know what, let's just let them take pot shots at our Slayers. We've got plenty of infantry. We can afford it while we move our organ gun up. But we're like, all right, let's just start moving everything up, because if we don't, they do have the range advantage over us, especially with all the archers. So we're like, we're going to need to move up eventually, especially with our organ gun. It's only got a 300 range, whereas the Eagle Claw Bolt Thrower, I'm pretty sure, has a little bit more. Yeah, you can see they're 380. So they do have the range advantage at the moment, and they're kind of tearing our Slayers apart. Although I don't think we've lost any actual units. We've just lost health on them. So yeah, so they've got those. We did want to bring our Slayers over on this right side because the Eagle was there and we're going to charge. But you can see our organ gun now is popping off. And look at that initial burst we just did. We just demolished part of their archers, as well as damaged some of the mage's health. So that was really good. I was really happy with that. I was like, damn, this organ gun is definitely going to pay for itself. But now that we're in range of them and we can use our artillery, they decide to move their defenses forward. So they're going to bring everything in. Thorgrim is at the front with his little dwarves carried. And he does have the effect of... where is it? The Great Book of Grudges. There you go. You can see there. So it affects allies in range. So everyone inside that circle gets an extra 9 melee attack. As well as that, he's got the High King. And this just provides us with even more damage. 12% weapon damage, 8% charge bonus, 8% melee attack, and immune to psychology. So that was really good. Now you can see here they are getting some shots off on our miners with the blasting charges. We were a little bit worried, weren't too worried, but we decided to move our miners up before they could do really any more damage. And you can see they are doing some damage, but we are sort of shredding apart his back line with our organ gun. And you can see he's moving his Ilarian Reavers around, so we were like, let's break off a unit, move up our miners with the blasting charges. These one anyway, because they are getting shredded, but there we go. Popping off the blasting charges, and I don't think we actually triggered those ones, unfortunately. Doesn't look like, yeah, it doesn't look like we did trigger them. There we go, they triggered there, but here we go, popping more off, and they just shredded through his spearmen. Look at that, down to half health from one group of blasting charges, which is absolutely great. You can see here, their eagle is coming in, swooping us, just flying through our troops. Look at the damage. Here we go, here comes the second eagle. We're bringing in Thorgrim, going to deal some major damage, and you can see that the Ilarian Reavers did manage to get around our infantry and get into our organ gun. But luckily, he did move them out, and they did get intercepted by us. We kind of got a bit of friendly fire here, because we threw some blasting charges from our iron breakers. So, yeah. Now, we have managed to pretty much trap their leader, and you can see here, she is getting pretty damaged. We did get a, I don't know if it was a blasting charge or a Thorgrim axe swing that did connect. Our Slayers are trying to intercept the Great Eagle, but you can see here, we were a little bit worried. We did get them up against the chariot because they do get that bonus there. And we're just popping off more blasting charges through here. But you can see that the Eagle and Thorgrim are going to battle. We've got the Slayers dealing some damage to the Eagle, but the blasting charges is coming in, hitting friend and foe alike, so it doesn't really matter. But the Great Eagle did take quite a bit of damage, and their leader is very low. She is getting routed, and the Swordmasters of Hoeth have come in, and they've intercepted into our infantry. But we do have our Longbeards with great weapons in the front, and they are going to be going toe-to-toe with the Swordmasters. And honestly, I think it'd be a pretty even match. Although they do have, we've both got stand your ground, so that is playing into effect as well. The Great Eagle's coming back, but that has been terror routed, so that is going to fly off the battlefield. I think we did just want to try coming in with Thorgrim and killing it anyway. Yeah, you can see there it's dead. The Ilarian Reavers have come back, and they are trying to get back into our organ guns. We didn't notice this until the last second. Like we didn't even notice that we had this group of troops back here, just chilling here doing nothing. So these guys are going to get into our organ gun, which is going to be really unfortunate. They did get the rear charge, and we've got that group of troops back there. Now you can see here, we don't really have anything dealing with their ranged fire. So we did decide to move Thorgrim in. We're like, you know what? Let's get this big beefy boy in. Let's deal with their life mage. Try and take them out. He's going to get a charge bonus against the Ilarian Reavers there. And you can see the Ithmar Chariot, sorry. And you can see he's still above half health. We're still pretty solid. The balance of power is in our favor. These guys are getting run off. These guys are getting terror rooted as well. So, you know, we were in a good position. The Eagle Claw Bolt Thrower only had it's got three left, so it was still popping off, but we just had so much infantry that I didn't think it could really do too much damage to us. So we weren't really too worried about that. But you can see here we decided to finally notice our troops back here and wanted to move them in. Thorgrim we just decided to let chill here for a little bit, because we just wanted him to get the whole radius around the units that we had, just so they got that extra bonus. But you can see here, he's only really got the Shadow Warriors and the Grey, which is another group of Shadow Warriors, as well as the Storm Riders. Now, these Storm Riders are being attacked by the Blasting Charged Dwarfs, and you can see here that I don't know what the hell we were thinking here. We just decided to pop our Iron Breakers off. I think we did it by accident, but you can see here, the Blasting Charges coming in from more Dwarves, hitting into the Storm Riders as well as the Archers, and we are just shredding them. And just like that, they have been terror routed. I do love our Dwarves with their shields up, trying to protect themselves from the Archers. That's what shields are for, guys, so go ahead and use them. But you can see here, pretty much everything has been terror routed, I believe. Yeah, that's it. So that was pretty much all she wrote for this battle. you can see here we're just coming in, trying to clean up everything. Might as well rub it into the enemy that we pretty much defeated them. And our... Was that our cannon still firing? It is still firing. So yeah, our organ gun was still going off. But yeah, guys, that was pretty much all she wrote for the High Elves. We did manage to win that one, which is great. And our Dwarf infantry really stood out on that match. They kind of got terrified because they lost both leadership units. I don't think if we took out their leadership units, they would have run off so fast. But yeah, that was pretty good. I was happy with how that went. Our organ gun coming in here with the MVP play. 109 enemy troops killed. Absolutely demolished the enemy units. But you can see here, their Swordmaster of Hoeth did do quite a bit of damage against our Dwarfs. But we didn't really lose any units aside from a group of Slayers, so I was pretty happy with that. So guys, that'll wrap up this video today. Let me know what you thought of the video down below. Let me know whether or not you guys want to see more Warhammer videos. But other than that, guys, thanks very much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, and I will catch you in the next one.